Okay, so we're live. So for everyone who is going to be watching this, important note, this was the first hangout. This was the first video conversation that we from 356 Labs see. I cannot say the name of my company now. So this was the first video that we actually recorded. And this is with the friends of ours from Sli.do. Together with us is the marketing manager of Sli.do, and I want to ask you, man, to just introduce once again, because the first call failed, the recording failed, and now we are re-recording this for our audience. So please introduce once again.
Thank you very much, Boris, for inviting me, and I'm happy to be on the first Google Hangout with you. So my name is Juraj, Holub, and I'm the marketing manager at Sli.do. And what we do with Sli.do, we believe that every presentation, every conference can become a conversation. Because if you attend the present day conference, you just come to the audience and you need to sit through a series of one-way presentations. And from what we know about learning, this might not be the most effective method how to deliver and how to help people build new knowledge. So we believe that by giving a voice to the audience and helping them to raise the questions, they will be able to find out what is truly relevant for them. So,
yeah, if you have something else to say, please.
Yeah, so basically, we try to bridge this gap that basically arises between the audience and the speakers, because speaker does have that knowledge and the audience does have the questions, but sometimes they lack the means sort of to raise those questions, as many people are scared of public speaking, or there's not enough time to raise these questions. So this is something what we try to solve basically with two features, with interactive Q&A, and then from the more speaker's perspective with live polling.
Yeah, so first of all, you are doing that very, very successfully. I and the whole company and every presentation that we do somehow tries to involve Sli.do, and we are doing that from almost like more than half a year already, or even more. And the reaction and the overall engagement of the audience is just stunning. It's like another level, as you said. And I want to ask you, man, so how do you use the software? What is Sli.do in terms of a service, in terms of a solution?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, thanks a lot for sharing all those positive words with us.
I have something new to share on that topic also, but you'll hear about it later.
Excellent. So basically what we do, or what we offer, we've got two main features with which, as I said, we'd like to bridge that gap between the audience and the speakers. And the first one is the interactive Q&A. So imagine during the presentation, your audience can submit their questions that they might have through their smartphone. So for all those people who would otherwise remain silent, this gives them a means basically to raise their question, to make themselves heard. So from the speaker's perspective, you can very effectively collect all those questions during your talk. And once the Q&A time comes, you can display Sli.do and you can start addressing the questions that came from the audience.
So let me stop you here, because the case study that I have for you right here, live on the video, is exactly for this feature. So I'm training the future trainers, let's go this way, the trainer courses. I'm training the future trainers of an organization that's called Software University in Sofia, Bulgaria. And I show them Sli.do, I'm using it during all of my sessions there, because they have public seminars, etc. And they surprised me they surprised me recently with the fact that they actually now use Sli.do in every single one of their presentations, because they deliver education. So they have courses on various IT things. And at the beginning of every single presentation, no matter which module, no matter which course it is, they put a Sli.do number for all of the students, because this way they collect even more questions. And after the lecture ends, they go ahead and answer every single one of the questions that the people asked. during the lecture and post them online as part of their online forum. So they said that this raised the engagement and this helped them see questions that they have never seen before.
This is
that's a big one.
This is absolutely brilliant to hear coming from you. And like they use it very, very effectively, and
yes.
and this is the best feedback that we can get. And as you said yourself, if you use tools such as Sli.do, not only can you engage people, during that moment when they are in the room, when the speaker is on the stage, but you can also collect all that data, during the presentation. So in the case that you've just described, the presenter is able to collect all those questions, to respond them, and even to post them online, and work with that data, work with those questions, and really provide deeper knowledge, more information to the students or to the participants.
Absolutely. So the second one.
All right. So the second one is basically that comes the other way, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's the question that comes, it's a poll question that comes from the speaker to the audience. And many speakers do use live polling to engage their audience, to collect the feedback, but to also sort of quiz them. And recently we saw some amazing case studies at one of the medical conferences in London. What the event organizers did, they had presenters and they presented the case studies and let's say the illnesses, and they provided a couple of tips on how to cure these diseases. And at the end of the talk, they just displayed the pictures and they asked the doctors that were sitting in the audience to vote, to select in live polls, to select the best remedy that they would prescribe to the patient.
Yeah.
So this was a very effective way how to check the knowledge, how to engage people, and also, improve the overall learning. So this was also a very interesting case study. So we constantly learn also from our clients, and we are always amazed like what they come up with.
Yeah. So, and from the speaker's perspective, how does that look like? Is that a website? Is there a smartphone app? How does that look like?
Right. So Sli.do is a web-based solution. So for you as a speaker or as an event organizer, you don't need to download anything. What you need to do is set up your account by going to Sli.do.com. Go through a couple of very, very simple steps that will guide you to create your account. Then once you're in the room, once you start your presentation, it's always good to introduce, or it's not actually good, it's essential to introduce the tool that there is something out there that people can use, and share the code of the event that you've just created. And people, they just open their web browsers on their smartphones or on their tablets,
smartphone, tablet,
computer. It works on any device. They don't need to download anything. They just open a web browser, go to Sli.do.com, and enter the event code. That's it, basically.
As simple as that.
And they can start sending their questions. They can start participating in live polls. So it's very simple. We try to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, is it free? Is it the paid stuff? What can we do? What's your opinion on this one?
Yeah. So Sli.do uses a freemium model, which means that a basic package with a limited functionality can be used for free. And if you need additional features, those are included in the paid packages. But coming back to speakers and to the free package, that includes basically the Q&A feature. That also includes free live polls, free of charge. So for one-time presentation, this could be potentially sufficient. If you would be holding let's say an event, and you want to have more control over the incoming questions, or you want to put some branding and stuff like that, you can go for one of the paid packages.
Yeah, and from me as a speaker, I can assure that almost every speaker, or like 99% of the speakers out there, in my opinion, of course, they can use the free version of the web service with no problems whatsoever. And there are like so many things that you are going to be missing that it's just so much worth trying. It's just insane. Anyway, so something else here. What's coming up? What can we expect from you? You have a lot of features. What's next?
Yeah.
Can you share something?
Yeah, that's a great question. Just 2 weeks ago, we held our very first client event where we presented what we were basically working on the last couple of months. So just recently, we released a new interface for the participants. We're about to publicly introduce the new administration interface. And what we have in store for US speakers, when what's really interesting is an application which is called Slides Drive. This application allows you to nicely manage all your presentation files just in one interface. You can create the polls in this app, and you can activate your presentation as live polls with a simple click. So it's very seamless. You can activate the poll with a click. It's going to replace your presentation temporarily. Once people vote, you can just go back with one single click to your presentation. So this could be something very interesting for all the speakers out there.
Yeah, that works on Windows, Mac, or?
Yeah, at the moment we've got the Windows version, but we are working on the Mac version too. So Stay tuned.
Okay, so we'll expect that soon. Yeah. And what about features? Do you plan something else in terms of features? Can you share something on that stuff, or yeah?
Yeah. So the product development is always very flexible, and it's we very often listen to the feedback from our customers. So during the event that we organized, we collected lots of great recommendations coming from people, from the event organizers, as well as from speakers. So we're just going to make sure that we implement some of that. But you can expect more branding, more poll options, I mean, like in the way how they would be visualized, and stuff like that. So definitely lots of things we have in store for you.
Coming up till the end of 2016, obviously. Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, because it's summer right now, so let's be honest here. So we have, like, I can say, like, whenever you see this thing, whenever you see this, if you care in terms of how do you engage your audience, and whether or not you engage your audience at all, it's like a no-brainer to check out what Sli.do can do for you. My question is, and probably the last question is, you recently came from London. I have a lot of, like, from my personal experience and from obviously some of the organizations that we train, they start using Sli.do from there and in their ways, like their crazy ways. What is the feedback from the people? What are the changes that they are seeing? Can you say something about that? Because it's really interesting to hear how presentations change when you couple them together with Sli.do, polls, questions, etc.
Yeah, that's an absolutely excellent question. And what we see really happening more and more is by empowering the audience with the event technology tools, exactly like Sli.do. Because the research has shown that 74% of adults are scared of public speaking. So that's a big barrier that leaves 3/4 of the audience out of the conversation. So by using tools such as Sli.do, it's about making the presentation and especially the Q&A part and the panel discussion truly relevant. It's the discussion for the audience. It's not a discussion for the sake of discussion, or, like basing it on some kind of guesswork. I'm just guessing what they might know. You can crowdsource all those questions, and you can know exactly what the audience wants to hear. And not only that, because very often, if the moderator or the presenter asks, are there any questions? There are none. And if somebody dares to raise a hand, he might ask a good question that is completely irrelevant to 300 other people sitting in the audience. So with these kind of tools, they usually have the functionality that lets people upvote the ones that they truly like. So by doing this, you can actually make sure that the questions that are being addressed are in the interest of the majority of the audience. So it's not only about being relevant, it's also about being really well targeted and about sort of, making the discussion democratic.
Yeah, so it's not anymore, it's like we have a change from a presentation to a discussion now. Yeah, and you also have this feature for upvoting the questions from the audience, which allows for kind of as one person said during an event where we again used Sli.do, he said, like, this is like a virtual moderator. You don't need a moderator anymore. The audience becomes a moderator.
I love this. It's a great term. I'm hearing it for the first time, but I really like it.
You can quote me on this one. So
Definitely.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting stuff. And one more here is that whenever people go and present, they're like, okay, I know who the audience is. I have my goal. I know what they wanna take. Probably the experienced speakers think about that. But I presented at an event which is called MobCon Europe, and a speaker from the UK, by the way, was in my session and saw Sli.do for first time, and he was like, wait a minute, I teach kids and students on programming stuff. And he said, this thing is crazy cool, because at the beginning of the session, I can ask them what they want to focus at and focus in, and then we can readapt completely what we are going to talk about in this 1 or 2 hours that we have together. And yeah, it's just another level.
Thanks a lot for bringing this up. This is an amazing example how these kind of technologies can transform the presentation. But there is one thing that I would like to underline at this point, and that's that even technology is just the tools, such as PowerPoint or Keynote or Google Slides or whatever other presentation software is out there, Prezi. It's just the tools, and it all depends on the skills of the presenter, how well he's able to do that. And coming back to the fact that presentations are gradually becoming conversations, that requires a new skill set when it comes to the speakers and when it comes to presenters. So it becomes more about facilitation, being able to improvise in real time, not being scared to lead the open discussion. So it's not only about one-way delivery and sort of, performance style thing, presentation. It's about really facilitating and engaging dialogue, improvising in real time, and that requires a new skill set. So this is very exciting, and it's really amazing to observe these changes taking place.
Yeah, definitely. And when you say that Sli.do is a tool at the end of the day, and you should learn how to use it and adapt yourself. Just a quick note here on something that we recently created, because you said a tool. Take a look at this one. I don't know if you can read it.
It's not, I can't read the second line. It's not PowerPoint. Can you read it for me?
Yeah, it's not PowerPoint's fault. It's how we use it. That's a sticker that's one of the stickers that we created for our audiences, just to make sure that they understand that these are tools.
Exactly.
You have to learn how to use them. And yeah, final words. Anything else from you?
Well, Boris, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you inviting me. And
For the second time,
and it's always great to speak with someone who is so passionate about making presentations and events more interactive and more engaging. So I think we're both on the mission to turn presentations into conversations.
Absolutely. You have all our support from me and the 356 Labs team. You have our support on this, and you can be absolutely sure that we are one of your evangelists here in Bulgaria, and not only.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And the support is mutual. So anything you need from our side, we have your back.
We'll see. Yeah. Thank you very much, man, for coming. And again, sorry for the first failed recording, but that's a tool. It fails sometimes.
No worries at all. Thanks a lot for the invitation.
See you soon, man.
See you.